Hello everybody, here we are again. Now this time I'm on Route 63 looking towards Watertown, and there's a really great motorcycle road off to the right just down here called 132. And 132 goes from 63 all the way down to Hotchkissville in this district of Woodbury on Route 47. And it is just one of those great little twisty roads that motorcycles just love to go on. The surface of this road isn't A1, but the twisties make up for it. And this video is going to be a little bit less of remembering where I grew up and more about the celebration of just riding a motorcycle on an exceptionally fun piece of road. It's springtime, as you can see, and there's really beautiful farmland all through Bethlehem. And this is just, well, I think where we're starting off here, this is in Watertown. But pretty quickly, it's after a few twists, it's going to end up being in Bethlehem. Look at that road. Yeah, so as a rider, you have to be very careful looking down to see what inconsistencies there are on the road. You can see there's a line there that, it's a good idea to stay out of that because it'll pull your tires, one way or another. So you kind of have to pick a line to one side or the other of that sort of thing. And I know coming up here there's going to be a few sweeps. So I'm staying tight to the inside here. And I'll probably lean out towards the outside of it because I know that the turn's going to come. Well, I pretty much stayed on the inside of that. It's really interesting when you're talking to motorcyclists in Great Britain, they have sort of position 1, position 2, and position 3. And position 1 is where you're closest to the lines on the interior of the road, and 3 is to the exterior. And like with skiing, you have to sort of pick a line for yourself. And right here, I'm staying pretty much away from that inconsistent line. I got on the other side of it there. I'm standing up so I can see if there's anything coming over the hill. This is just a glorious road. Let's see here. So pretty much a straightaway for a bit. The other side of town is going to have a lot of really nice bends one after the other. When you're on a motorcycle and you see, that thing that looks like a snake on the sign, it's just thrilling for us because it's so much fun. But off to the left here, there are roads going off towards farmland that I never knew anything about. And I have a friend who lives south of Bethlehem, and he took me on all these roads the last few years. And I love this turn. This is just before the town of Bethlehem. There's that sweep to the left, and then there's a straightaway, and then a sweep to the right. But from this straightaway, there's going to be a big turn to the right, and if you went straight, it would go down into some of the prettiest farmland you ever saw. With hills. I have a real sweet spot for hidden valleys that have a farm that you can't see anything else. Well, with a sign like that, there's going to be a big turn coming up. Yeah, that's fun. So we're coming down into the center of Bethlehem here. As a kid, I didn't spend much time around Bethlehem. It's so funny because it's not very far away from where I live, but it just was kind of in the wrong direction. I'd either go to New Milford or Torrington, but Bethlehem is kind of just as close, but off through the woods in the other direction. It's sort of on the other side of Morris. So I'm going to be coming up to the four corner stop light in the center of town, and we're just going to go straight across into some of the nicest bends you ever rode a motorcycle on. There we go. There's a little road that goes off to the right here that goes to the March farm. I was talking about in Washington, the Marsh farm, and then there's a fruit farm over here called the March family have it. So this is just, you have to keep your wits about you on this bit of road. There's one turn after another. Nice little pond on the right up here. You can go off through the woods off on this side road right there. And when this ride ends, we'll end up pretty much at the end of where that road goes. But we're going the long way because this is so much fun. So being a bigger road, I don't like the bigger road so much. This is, an A road. And of course, when I say A road, I'm thinking of Great Britain. We don't have sayings like that in the United States. Maybe there are, but I really have never heard those terms over here. But this is a bigger road, and it's a bigger road, but it's a road with a lot of really nice turns. So you'll find motorcyclists coming from all over the state to go on this road, and at the very end of this, there's Route 47. People take that road, and the other sort of famous one for around northwestern Connecticut is 109, which is there's a part of 109 that goes from Washington over to New Milford that I'll take sometime. As a child, we called that the roller coaster road, so you can imagine what that one is. Yeah, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think this is the hill with the big turn on it. I remember I was coming up on a truck, and when I got caught up with that truck, I thought, well, I could either go to Woodbury or get away from the truck and go through the woods. And I decided to go off through the woods. So, and I know all that's coming up on us pretty soon. Look at that country. I love how blue the sky is here too. Really, really nice. There's that truck. So yeah, when I caught up with that truck, I thought, I think I'm just going to go back through the woods. And the ride through the woods is really pretty. So that's a really nice big turn there, but it's worth it to go off this way. I wish I could remember the name of all these little roads. I could look them up later, but I know how to do them. I just don't remember all the names for them. This surface is a little up and down and sideways. You always have to be very, very careful when you get onto this stuff when you're setting a line that you're not, that the frame isn't destabilized by what you're hitting. So there's a lot to think about and physically do. Look at that country. Very, very pretty. So there's a few different roads that go off to the right up here that end up going back to that other road that we're going to end on. I think it's called Woodcreek, that finally comes out onto 109 over towards the border between Washington and Morris. Right now we're on the hillside where when we were over on Sabaday Lane and going on Wickham Road, I said, look over there, that's Bethlehem. Well, we're on that hill now. So we're about 5 miles away from that last ride and on a different hill. There is the most exciting little road that goes off up here. Oh, that nice lady running. There's a nice road going off up here to the right that I'll take you down sometime, just because it's one of those technical dirt roads that's really fun to ride the scrambler on. Yeah, that's a nice farm right there. Really, really great. Yeah, I think we're coming up on that. Yep. There's a little road that goes off here to the right, a little sand road that one time I went down there and I thought, oh, the road's pretty rough today. And when I got to the other end, there was a big sign saying, road closed, danger. Didn't happen to have a sign on the side I went in through, but so this is going to come down a hill onto one of those hidden parcels of land that's, sort of like Shangri-La, one of those pieces of land that just is a hidden surprise all by itself. And we're heading from Bethlehem down almost into Morrison, almost into Washington. So this is a corner of Bethlehem we're going to hit both Washington and Morris when we get to the bottom of this hill. And I got down towards the bottom of this and I thought, how am I going to show how beautiful this is? So the first thing I did is I sort of pulled in a little bit so you could see the pond that belongs to this estate. And then I'll stop and sort of move the camera around a little bit, but it's some spectacular land. Okay, so there's this pond. I thought, oh, well, I'll just turn in a little bit towards it. It's hard to see how up and down the land is here. There's a house on a hill, and then this road going around in between the house and the pond. But this whole sort of scooped out amphitheater of a valley is another of these pristine farms. When I say farm, I'm not really talking about working farms so much as just, gentleman farm. So I'm getting off the bike so I can just turn into that land. I'm really warmed to the heart by places like this. Isn't that pretty? Wow. And this is one of those spots where, people have been taking care of it for a few generations in a row. So right up at the end here, we can see that we're coming into another road. That's the road that we could have gotten on when we were at that pond right after the center of Bethlehem. And we're going to go off to the left, and pretty quickly we're going to be on 109. It's a road that we've been on before. Oh, I wish I could have just turned my head so you could have seen that pond one last time. This is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful land. At least it's nice. I like where I live. So I think it's a good idea to just end this down at the bottom of the hill here. There was a little more driving. I went back on the 109 over and had a little look at Bantam Lake, but we can do that at another time. And I just love the way this, surprise of going through the woods ends up the way it did. And at this pretty little road. So I think I'm going to say my goodbyes here. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you another time. Okay, bye.